Coming up right now, some people are questioning the aging rule of politics as some familiar faces throw their names back into the game.
Also coming up, Queen Bee made her concert a labor of love for one fan who wasn't expecting a special delivery. We will explain.
And later, Jimmy Fallon issues a late-night apology after allegations of a toxic work environment.
We have got your trending news and entertainment starting right now on Daily Flash.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. Now we're packed full of trending news and entertainment, and we're going to have some fun today for sure.
Trending today, there is a job for a reporter just listed for Gannett, which produces USA Today and other papers around the country, for a Taylor Swift reporter.
A Swift reporter or a Taylor Swift reporter?
A Taylor Swift reporter. A Swiftie reporter.
A Swiftie, if you will. And what would they do?
This will pay up to $50 an hour. You will travel around and you will report on everything Taylor Swift.
Wow.
Yes.
So I guess the remainder of her tour then.
Yes, and then she's got a new album coming up. So they plan on hiring somebody specifically to cover the Taylor Swift beat. Because they're saying she's had such an economic impact on a number of these places where she's gone to perform her concerts. They think at this point it's something that could be economic and business related. So it sort of falls into their umbrella of information.
I remember reading about throughout the entire nation, this whole tour brought about $4.6 billion. Something. I mean, we're talking about billions.
Right.
I mean, and one city. I mean, you talk about hotels, security, extra people they have to hire, promotional stuff, T-shirts, merchandise, and everything, just for one city. It's crazy. Can you imagine being that successful? You know what I'm saying? Outside of what you are, like she's a business.
Yeah, she is a business. So they will hire this reporter not only to report for USA Today, but also the Tennessean, and then all their other, outlets across the country.
Oh, the Tennessean.
The Tennessean.
Well, which makes sense because Nashville.
She's from Tennessee.
And Tennessee, and music is kind of like no. All right. You're going to stay with me, right? Okay, all right,
yeah.
Let's get political a little bit here, but not the way you think, because former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi recently announced that she is going to run for re-election in 2024. Now, she first made the announcement in San Francisco during her quarterly Politics and Eggs breakfast, both of them very scrambled.
Yes.
Thank you, 2 shows nightly. Anyway, she did it obviously with her supporters and volunteers, and all of them were in support of it. Can you believe it? All of them.
Shocking.
So the cameras are there saying, look, all these people support it. Well, that's because she was in front of her supporters. Anyway, the campaign said Pelosi's priority is to ensure that come 2025, she is serving alongside a re-elected President Joe Biden, who a lot of people joke about his age as well. Pelosi's 83 years old. She was first elected in Congress back in '87. She became the first woman to hold the House speakership back in 2007 and was elected by her peers to serve the top position again in 2019. Now, even though Pelosi steered her party through 4 presidents, it does bring up the question, should there be age limits or even term limits when it comes to those serving in politics? I know I'm smarter as I gotten older, but I don't know if I make the right decisions, the same decisions I made when I was younger.
There's something to be said, with age comes wisdom. So you think with these politicians who've served in office and, not having term limits gives them the opportunity to develop contacts and perspective that might be difficult for somebody who might only be in the office 1 or 2 terms, right? But when you're talking about politicians, Nancy Pelosi, Senator Dianne Feinstein, whose daughter is now sort of got
continue on.
No.
This blows my mind. She has power of attorney for, meaning that she's the one can make decisions, and yet she's being elected to, God bless her. It's nothing about it. It's like, hey, look, let somebody else come in and you maybe can mentor them and go in that fashion.
And it's not to say that some 80-year-olds are not as young and smart as a 50-year-old. There's no question there. Those are the exceptions, though. And I think when you're talking about Nancy Pelosi serving another 6 years, that puts her close to 90 years old. And I just think maybe it's time for some of these folks to step aside and give somebody new a chance.
I know as I'm getting old, I ain't listening to that. I'm old enough. I know what I'm doing.
Right?
But there's a thing when you're a politician, you need to listen to your constituents, and you got to. And I think sometimes you get set in your way. And also, when going back to term limits, maybe not age limits, but term limits, you go, look, I got 4 years to get this accomplished.
Yes.
I got it, or 8 years, or however many years. This amount of time, I need to get it done. If you know that you're not getting that job afterwards, it seems like I'd be a little bit more motivated to make sure that happens.
Nikki Haley, who's running for a Republican presidential candidate, calls Washington, D.C. the most privileged nursing home in America.
With the best applesauce in the world.
You got that right. Jello for all my friends.
And listen, I realize I'm a few years away from all of that too, so I want everybody to know that. But still, I think when it's time to sit down, it's time to step down.
Yes, it is one of the biggest concerts going on, and it's definitely one a California mom will never forget. Sarah Frances Jones, who was pregnant, did not want to miss Beyonce's show in Los Angeles. She thought she'd be fine since she had a cesarean section scheduled a week after the show, but her baby had other ideas. When Beyonce started singing Virgo's Groove, the baby wanted to join in on the fun. At first, Jones thought the moves were just false contractions, but on the way home, she knew she had to go right to the hospital. Jones said it was a perfect set of circumstances going into labor on Labor Day with a Virgo baby after a Queen Bey concert.
Lots of baby. That's, well, you know, and they say stay on your feet, do a lot of walking when you're on those last stages. Having, you know, as many kids as I have, I've learned that amount. So it probably was a good idea. The loud music, I'd be a little concerned about. But maybe she was back far enough to where it didn't. And that bass really does something when you're at concerts. Current staff members at The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon have slammed bombshell reports of a toxic workplace, insisting the presenter goes above and beyond to ensure his staff feels like a family. Rolling Stone published a story alleging concerns by 14 former employees as well as 2 current workers about Fallon's supposed erratic workplace conduct and interactions with other bosses. They claimed the host's inconsistent behavior, which includes outbursts towards co-workers, was the starting point for a pretty gloomy atmosphere, with some alleging it triggered suicidal thoughts. While Fallon reportedly issued an apology to his staff, telling them that he feels bad and embarrassed about this scandal, many employees insist that the allegations are just not true. It's a reflection of his character or their workplace at all. Some say that he came to work inebriated and that he would cut jokes. He was with Jerry Seinfeld doing something, and he started yelling at the cue card guy, and Jerry's like, "Are you going to apologize to him?" And so they're using that. However, Jerry's come out and said, "No, I never felt that."
They blew that out of proportion.
Right.
And look, Rolling Stone has been questioned in the past for certain stories they've reported on that have turned a different corner once all the facts came. Yeah, the Duke lacrosse team, as well as several others. But yeah, Jerry Seinfeld came out, told the New York Post, "Hey, they blew this completely out of proportion. They asked me for comment. I didn't think it was worthy of a comment because it was just a ridiculous, funny moment, and we turned it into a bit."
Yes.
And so now he's been forced to come out and make a comment on it. And we're talking 14 former employees who they spoke with 2 current employees.
And you can talk about, there's a massive amount of staff that goes along with that too. And I guess people just want another Ellen controversy, I guess.
It's possible, but if you think about it, it's like the workforce these days, if you're employing a younger generation, there's a certain amount of entitlement that comes to it. And feelings get hurt a lot easier, so there's a whole different take. I don't think they would be able to survive the David Lettermans or the Johnny Carsons.
No, and to some aspect, even Jimmy Kimmel, because they all have that sarcastic attitude. You kind of know what you want, where Jimmy Fallon's kind of like everybody's favorite nephew, you know, and you want him to do well. All right. Speaking of New York shows, comedian broke a record by arranging 13 donuts into a stack in just 1 minute. Robin Shaw said she decided to take on the record for the tallest stack of donuts in 1 minute while creating her list of goals in 2023. She looked up the records involving donuts and found that record for stacking the treats stood at 12 in just 60 seconds. Ooh. She said that she had to learn how to make donuts because it was difficult to find the ones required for the contest. Shaw also took on the record during a live episode of Sports Talk Prime, stacking all 3 donuts. So we here at Daily Flash, we want to see if we can beat her record here and stack 13 donuts in just some time. We got Matt being our referee here.
There's a napkin for everybody.
This doesn't seem like it's going to be that difficult.
I think we can do 13.
I do too.
Easily as pie. Matt, what's the rules here?
You got 30 seconds to stack as many as you can. All right. Start wherever you want.
Okay.
You guys ready?
And what a stack would we make up? Okay, so they have to be not a pyramid.
A tower.
All right, a tower.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, stack.
All right.
There's one on Mitch.
I'm going to go with a little sticky in the halfway
Andrea runs ahead with 4.
You can do it! Yeah, here we go. All right.
Andrea running way ahead there.
I'm going to try the 2.
Here we go!
Oh, alrighty. Oh, it's falling. If it falls, you got to start back over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let him go. It's a draw. It's a draw.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many did you get?
Just
You
you.
got 12 as well, right?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, and they both fell. So.
High five.
No winner.
Now we're going to have a donut eating contest.
Donuts for all my friends.
Brenda, you're fake. Why is the white powdered donut
Easier.
always? Well, it's easier, but when in a box, it's always the last one. No one ever wants
right.
it.
Yes.
I don't know. Around here,
No.
you'd think it's always the last one, no matter what. We got more flash and more fun coming up right after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Since the pandemic, the tipping culture in the U.S. has exploded. Nearly every cash register you go to has a screen asking you one more question. Some consumers have had enough, calling it tipping fatigue. And here to talk about it, let me pause for a second. Chef, you have to excuse our producers. Here's what they wrote. Here to talk about it is the most beautiful chef we have ever seen on air, Chef Adrianne.
Look at that. All right.
Now, oh my goodness, such kind words. Thank you. You know, we talk about tipping fatigue, and it's something it's funny because I was just talking about this with my mom, who was getting a to-go order, something that she actually packaged herself, drove herself there, put it back in her car herself, and was asked to tip 20%. And she actually asked me, "Hey, Adria, is this what's going on now?" And you have to look back on tipping culture, how it started. In the late 19th century in Europe, it was very rarely adopted in the United States and looked at as bribery. Right. If you look at tipping culture in Japan and South Korea, it's looked at as rude. What that tells you is that it's something since the beginning of tipping, it has been ever changing and evolving. I do believe since the pandemic now, it's something that restaurants, just to keep their staff, keep them happy, keep them paid well, have adopted tipping in almost every aspect. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When should we tip and when can we pass? Because I've had similar experiences as your mom. You go to a place, you place your own order, you pick it up at the counter, and yet they're still asking you for a tip. And I got to be honest, I'm nervous. If I don't leave a tip, I'm worried something might happen with my order. I'm sure it doesn't, but you know, the thought does cross my mind.
Well, my rule of thumb is I do believe there's no right or wrong answer here. But I do think that if you're in a position where you can give, even when it doesn't seem right, do so. Because this is for the service industry. This is not for, how can I say, this is not for nurses and doctors and essential workers, really. These are people that are providing us joy, happiness. And if we are in a fortunate position of giving, let's make these service team members happy to be in this service industry, because I will say service is dying. It's dying out. Less and less people want to serve others for just the art of it, for the personal reward of putting a smile on someone's face. And I do think that if those of us that are in a position to be giving, extra giving, even when it's not required, I do think that's something nice. But I do think standard is if you're not being provided a service at a table where you are not doing the service yourself, it is not something that is required.
I think that's a great perspective. I know we've talked about it on the show. Some places are now asking for a tip at self-checkouts, like at some of the stadiums. You can go in and get a beer from, you know, a vending machine, and it's asking you for a tip.
Yes, because that took somebody to load that machine, and probably will take somebody to clean that machine. And with rising costs also of labor, these are ways that they offset it. So it's part of a bigger picture. And I think those of us, again, that are in the position to give, allow service to stay, you know, restaurants, even self-checkouts, convenience lines, all of that to stay in service when we give.
What about hitting the no tip button?
I do think that if you have that conviction of no tip because either you can't or you don't see that you've been given a service, you don't see that value, then that's okay too, because again, tipping is not required.
And let me ask you this, Chef Adrianne, there's been talk of some restaurants getting rid of tipping altogether, and I'm assuming maybe it's made up for in the menu costs, or sometimes in Europe they add the tipping into the bill, so that's already automatically added. What's your take?
They are still getting tipped. It's just already put into, it might be called a service charge. It might be built into the cost of the dishes that you're ordering, but it will be, folded in there, but to the guest, it's not looked at as tipping. So maybe it's an easier digest for the guest, but no matter what, if you are receiving a service in a restaurant, our servers, our service team does need, to earn their wages, and that is through tipping.
What are some of the rules when it comes to tipping at your restaurant? I mean, it used to be back in the day, it was 10% for okay service, 15% for decent service, and 20% for a little extra. Now those numbers have really bumped up. We're looking at 18, 20, 25, in some places 30%.
Well, at my restaurants, tipping, again, is not required. We do require it parties of 6 or more. When you are a party of 6 or more, you do get a 20% service gratuity charge onto your bill. But again, it is really not required. The guests can debate that, because we do stand by that tipping gratuity it's a gracious act, but we do suggest 20% for parties of 6 or more.
And if someone does not tip at the restaurant, what do you do? What do you tell your staff members?
We've been very fortunate that our clientele at Chef Adrianne's and Cracked by Chef Adrianne, I think they're very grateful for the type of service that we provide. And they've been very kind with our service team. It happens very, very seldom. And we're very proud of that. We just kind of take it on the chin, and we're like, hey, next time it won't happen. It's not common.
And what professions do you believe should be on the no tip necessary list, if you had one?
Oh my gosh, that's such it's such a hard question. I do believe that anything that is not a service, like a human service, should not be tipped. How can I say? Because let's say a masseuse goes to your home to give you a massage, they should get a tip, because it's something that's outside of the norm. They're doing it for you. They're making you feel wonderful. And if they go above and beyond, they deserve a tip.
Adrianne, thank you so much. It was so great having you. We want you in studio next time. AdrianneCalvo.com. Daily Flash is back right after this. In this week's Boss Lady, we call on our health and wellness expert, Dr. Romie, for advice on everything with regards to stress. And she's joining us this morning from Chicago. Dr. Romie is the CEO and founder of the Brain Shift Institute. Dr. Romie, good to see you.
Good morning, Andrea. Thank you all for having me join you this morning.
Let me start with this. Your journey, Dr. Romie, started with a near-death experience. Tell us about it.
I grew up with one success mantra in mind, Andrea, which was to grow up to become a doctor. And working 120-hour work weeks, which so many of your viewers can relate to, took its toll on my brain and physical health. And I ended up in life-saving surgery as a doctor. As a brain doctor, I should have known better what stress could do. And it completely changed the way I not only took care of my health, but now that I focus on the health of individuals that I work with and large companies and teams.
What should we be aware of, and how can we go ahead and take a busy brain quiz?
Andrea, one of the things we see with working with high-performing professionals and moms staying at home is that we feel anxious all day or think we can't focus, and we keep picking up the phone, or you have multiple browser windows open on your computer, and then you can't wind down at night, and you may need some alcohol or even a sleeping pill to feel calm. Those are all symptoms of what we call a busy brain, that you're addicted to caffeine or a stimulant like Adderall all day and some type of sedative to calm you down at night. So those are the symptoms of a busy brain and a sign that your brain and body are under chronic stress. We have what we call a neuropsychology test known as the busy brain test that you can take and get a score. And I don't know if anybody in your news studio took it yet, Andrea, but we email you a solution the first 2 weeks of our 8-week protocol that's a part of my upcoming book, The Busy Brain Cure.
I'm guessing part of that protocol is limiting your time on social media.
Andrea, you know me well, and also we all need our devices and social media all day. What we do is say have quick shifts and blocks. And so be mindful in the breaks you take during the day if you need social media for work and if you want social media for your personal life. But part of that protocol is absolutely powering down and digital detox for 30 to 60 minutes prior to bedtime. Our research and the teams that we put this through, it has a profound effect on resetting the busy brain and helping people manage their weight, stop the carb cravings, find focus, tame anxiety, and sleep again.
You mentioned sleep. What's another thing we can do to quiet a busy brain? Because I know part of your sleep quiz involves asking questions about your sleep habits.
The biggest mistake you can do is pick up your phone and start scrolling through your work emails or your calendar. That light is going to wake you up. We have free resources on how to put yourself back to sleep, whether it's mindfulness techniques, but also that talking to your doctor, could it be a sign of something more serious? Your blood sugar management, early sign of diabetes, thyroid is off. And Andrea, what we find is the most common cause of waking up in the middle of the night, that you had even one glass of alcohol, wine or a cocktail or a beer before bed. And so we ask people to abstain for 7 to 14 days to reset their busy brains.
Dr. Romie, always great to see you. Thank you for your great advice. We've got more information how you can find Dr. Romie. Here it is, drromie.com is the website. And there's also that QR code right there on your screen. Zap that, you can take her free brain quiz. Dr. Romie, thank you.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Hey, in today's KSA Cares, we go to Crestview, Florida, where one company saw a need to help their community in a very giving and relaxing way. Aaron, too, he's the owner of Walt's Cabinetry, wanted to find a way to help their local elementary school. So who was the best person to ask? That's the school principal, who just happens to be his wife. Well, he found out that teachers at the school get pretty stressed out at the end of the day, and a little decompressing would really make their day. So his solution? A donation of not one, but two $13,000 massage chairs for a new teacher's retreat lounge. Tu told the entire staff that it was important for all of them to know what a difference a teacher can make in someone's life.
I want you to know that we know that you matter. Then we've got big, nice schools, we've got books, we've got all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, you are what counts. That's what we know, that you are what counts. You are what changes lives. You just matter. Just know that the reason that we did what we did is because you matter.
We envision like you coming in there with finding a friend and y'all sitting down and just relaxing and having a cup of chit chat, not about school, and just take your mind off it all for a few moments and just take that crown off just for a second. And just see you.
Yeah, thank you.
The nearly $30,000 massage chairs are for teachers only. Mrs. Tu, the school principal, wanted to make note that there are no distractions in the teacher's relaxation room, and that includes no clocks, because that's their time to relax and realize how important their own time is, thus making the time with the students so much better. Knowing that they are giving so much of their day away for your kids, so just to let them relax, it's going to make them in the long run and the students so much better to learn.
I love the no clocks and the no distractions.
You need that, right?
For sure.
We got more trending news and entertainment and more fun coming up right after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
All right, if you know anything about me, you hear me talking about it all the time. When I'm hitting the roads, I have a lead foot, you know. Matter of fact, in the state of Georgia, and this is no joke, I am on record as what they call a super speeder. And it's a category where if you go over a certain amount of miles speeding, they categorize you as this, and it's on there. So if I get pulled over, it'll say this man's a super speeder.
Super speeder.
So much so, I don't know if I told you this, I was getting life insurance, And first they said, well, it's going to be this amount, say like $250, and then they go, but we have to run a report on you. They come back and they said it's going to be $1,500 a month because they found out I was a super speeder, right? Now, had I known this, I think it might have helped me out a little bit. But folks up at Boston College, researchers there, had said if you want to get out of a speeding ticket, the best way to do it is beforehand, prepare for it. When you get your picture taken, getting your driver's license, smile. And they say that police officers will have a tendency to give less tickets. They'll let you off. It's like, all right, she's just probably doesn't realize what's going on. Slow it down. And also puts them in a better mood somewhat as far as the research goes.
If you have a smiling picture on your driver's license.
When I got my license here, I did it and I was doing one of these. Can we, I did this. I would love to show you my picture, but I was like one of these. I don't wear my glasses. I'm like, and they're like, smile normal. And I'm like, no, this is how I want to do it. They wouldn't take the picture until I went, like, I get them to have like a regular smile. So the smile picture I have, and my theory is, if your driver's license picture, you never look good in, no matter what.
No.
If I could say, well, I was being goofy on purpose in that way. So anyway, try that out if you're getting new pictures, or maybe if you're just turning 16 and getting your driver's license, smile nice and pretty.
Forget showing any personality on your passport photo.
That's true.
That is a nightmare. You can't smile. You can't even turn up a corner of your mouth. It just has to be like a...
That is true.
like a mugshot.
They're dead serious about that. Yeah, you do. Your passport is your mugshot. And if you do something wrong, that is the picture that people use and show
Which I don't know why. Like, why do you have to be like so...
I guess maybe other countries might not understand the I don't know. I agree with you. I was like, and you're going to have a passport you have for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, let's get a little political here.
All
because former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi recently announced she will run for re-election in 2024. She first made the announcement in San Francisco during her quarterly Politics and Eggs breakfast event with supporters and volunteers. The campaign said Pelosi's priority is to ensure that come 2025, she's serving alongside a re-elected President Joe Biden. The 83-year-old Pelosi was first elected to Congress in 1987. She became the first woman to hold the House speakership in 2007, was elected by her peers to serve in the top position again in 2019. And even though Pelosi steered her party through 4 presidents, it does bring up the question, should there be age limits or even term limits when it comes to politics? Given a Senate term of 6 years, she would be close to 90 by the time her term ends. And Nikki Haley, who is running as a Republican presidential candidate, has said that Washington, D.C. is the most elite nursing home in the U.S. because there are so many people edging toward 80, if not past it, that are still reaping the benefits of a luxury political career.
And they will say, well, I still want to serve my country. Well, there are ways in the private sector that you could do just the same. Or maybe even, how about mentoring? How about giving somebody else a chance to do that because somebody gave you a chance at one age? And you can come on as a consultant somewhat and really kind of lead them on and have some of these junior senators and junior politicians to be able to come in and actually make a difference. And I think term limits are the reason why things stay stagnant. Things will always be the way that they are.
Yeah, if you don't have term limits, and I get the argument from both sides, but let's say maybe 3 term limits for a senator, because you look at some of these people who've served in the Senate for 20, 30, Nancy Pelosi, nearly, 40 years now.
I think Strom Thurmond was, 90-something.
Yeah, exactly. And look, they've got deep pockets, too, so there's not a lot of proof that they're just surviving on a senator's salary and affording homes all over the world and expensive cars and nice vacations. But I think it's not a bad idea.
There's a lot of age comes with wisdom and everything.
Yes,
and I think that's why I say
too.
Go into a consulting kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
We are going to be checking in with Jess, find out what's trending in the world. We'll also have more trending news and entertainment. Stick it around. You can get it all. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It's time now to check in with our Daily Flash Latino host, Jessica Reyes, to get her take on what's happening and trending in the world. What's going on, Jessica?
You want to know what's trending in fashion, social media, or even holiday decor? Then I will be your go-to person. This is Trending with Jess. So what am I tackling today? Well, Fashion, of course. With New York Fashion Week all over social media, I would be crazy not to mention it. And in true Fashion Week vibes, we saw a little bit of everything from protests to fails. But I say we keep things on the positive side and start with celebrities who made us kind of jelly because we weren't invited. For the record, I'm expecting an invite for next year. I'm just saying. Hashtag just saying. All right, so this woman doesn't need an intro, but for the sake of professionalism, I'll do it. This right here is Boogie Down Bronx's very own Jennifer Lopez. This was her attending the Coach Spring Summer 2024 Ready to Wear runway show, and of course, she slayed. The fit involved a bun, fringe jacket, and a pair of knee-high snakeskin boots that would make someone like myself have peeps questioning, why the heck am I wearing this when it's still pretty warm outside? But J-Lo is J-Lo, so ladies, take notes. Fringe is in. Fringe has to be a part of your fall, spring, summer fit, even if it involves rocking it with your own accessories and maybe even with a bun. Like pieces with suede, cowboy boots, and beige seem to be the look. So yes, I too feel like looking into a vintage shop and seeing what I can find to fit. Now on to our next celebrity that we saw at the red carpet in New York for the Victoria's Secret show. Here's Priyanka Chopra. So beautiful. Miss Priyanka Jonas killed it with a see-through muted gold floor-length dress. What I love about this fit is that it's something I can actually see us wearing very soon. I don't know about you, but I can see a version of this in our stores as a New Year's Eve look, and I want you to remember me when you see it. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about Queen Gigi Hadid. I feel her look is very springish, but Gigi gets a free pass to do almost anything because Gigi is Gigi, okay? So we're also glad she attended the Victoria's Secret celebration of the Tour 23, and she gave us color. She gave us, hey, I'm here. Honestly, she gave me some Latina vibes during fall because that's one of the things about my culture that we've normalized, wearing bright colors all year long. So watch out. So are you thinking about going yellow this fall? Amongst fall color trends, many creative directors and designers showcased a smart and refreshing spin on yellows and neutrals. Like this outfit right here that gives us yellow, but in a more softened tone, almost adding in sprinkles of orange hues. When styled correctly, you can give the gloomy months some warmth. And if you're into yellow, go for more butter yellow or more on the golden side. Don't get hungry, okay? Now for something that always matches with yellow is denim. Everyone loves denim. This right here is, let's go ahead and take a look at this, this picture of Gisele Bündchen at New York Fashion Week party. She clearly ditched the pants and opted for an oversized jean jacket. What I love about this new take on denim is how imperfect it can be. It's also something you can wear at any age with the proper accessories, of course. For example, this look right here, I snagged it from the peeps at Editorialist. Denim on denim can be intimidating, but this fall, feel free to go for it. Personally, I prefer denim in different shades, but don't be afraid to take chances when it comes to fashion. Also, do not end this year without a denim skirt. I know, for me, it totally takes me back to summer back in the 80s and 90s, but denim skirts with a modern twist can most certainly be your bestie this year. Whether you plan on combining it with a casual tee, maybe you want to clean it up with a more casual business blouse, I promise it's going to work. All right, guys, so I want you to tell me on social media, what are you excited about during fall fashion? I hope it's a lot of it. Remember that fringe is in and here to stay, ask J-Lo. Don't be afraid to keep some of your yellow pieces out for fall and just combine it with more neutral to tone it down, neutral colors. Experiment with denim, mix and match multiple denim pieces. Don't be afraid if it's a little edgy. Trust me, you got this. And guys, I am so excited about doing this. So next time around, I'm gonna have a little bit more that has to do with spooky season. Maybe that's why I'm wearing orange today. If you have any trends you want me to check out, don't forget to hit me up on social media. And that was Trending with Jess.
What is KSA Entertainment? It's trending news, entertainment, lifestyle. KSA Entertainment. Culture. It's love. It's food. It's family. KSA. It's life. It's shopping. It's empowerment. KSA Entertainment. It's fitness. It's travel. KSA. It's fun. It's engaging. It's Daily Flash. Daily Flash Latino. Life, love, shopping. This is KSA Entertainment.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. You know, with COVID infections on the rise, many Americans are confused about how to keep themselves healthy this fall and even into the winter. Former United States Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams joins us now to make a sense of the science and even offers his recommendations. Doctor, first off, tell us about the current COVID situation, where we're at.
Well, we know we're seeing 15,000 hospitalizations a week. We know that wastewater samples are telling us we're in a surge. But more importantly, people need to understand that it's not just people who are older or people who we think of as sick. 75% of US adults have underlying conditions that put them at risk for complications to COVID-19. And a third of our current hospitalizations in the US are in adults age 18 to 64. And it's also impacting kids. I've got 3 teenagers. Half my daughter's soccer team was out last night due to a respiratory illness, which we know was likely COVID. We know that school districts in Kentucky and Texas had to put the entire school year on hold because of respiratory illnesses. So I want people to understand what's happening. And I want them to understand that a new vaccine, an updated vaccine, which is a good match for the current variants, should be available within the next week or two, so that they should be prepared to talk to their health provider about whether or not this new vaccine is right for them.
Okay, well, when and where should people actually get it?
I would say get it as soon as possible because we're in a surge. It's a good match, and you should be able to get it from the same places you get your flu shot. As a matter of fact, the CDC has said that you can get your flu shot and your COVID shot at the same time. What I'm most worried about is vaccine hesitancy, and I talk about this in my new book, Crisis and Chaos, which is available on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble, this growing vaccine hesitancy. And the biggest way we can combat that is to give people the facts and encourage them to talk to their health provider so that they understand if they're at risk and they understand the benefits and risk of getting vaccinated.
Oh, thank you, doctor, for that very important information. We're going to make sure we post this interview and so much more on our website, dailyflashshow.com. You'll find the links there.
Big news for melt lovers. Chicken Salad Chick, the popular fast casual restaurant, has announced an exciting new addition to their menu, the Chick Melt. Joining us now to share the details and discuss some upcoming promotions is Melt Marketing Manager Gabrielle Shaman.
Big news for melt lovers. Chicken Salad Chick is unveiling its newest menu item, the Chick Melt. The new addition will feature each guest's choice of one of Chicken Salad Chick's 12+ made-from-scratch chicken salad flavors, paired with provolone cheese, all atop a toasted buttery croissant. The balance of the sandwich is golden brown, crispy exterior and melted gooey cheese interior elevates the chicken salad flavors to a whole new level. As part of the menu item launch, Chicken Salad Chick guests can look forward to some exciting specials and giveaways. From September 18th to 23rd, Chicken Salad Chick is making the Patty Melt melt. Guests named Patty or something similar can receive a free Chick Melt at all locations. And because the Chick Melt delivers all the flavor without any fishy tuna melt breath, from October 25th to 27th, guests can exchange a can of tuna for a free Chick Melt at participating locations. All cans collected will be donated to a local food bank. To find a restaurant near you, visit chickensaladchick.com.
As we look ahead to the new year, it's important to prioritize your physical and mental well-being, including making time for exercise. Planet Fitness's national lead trainer, Teddy Savage, is here to share tips and tricks to help keep you motivated and help everyone find their big fitness energy in the new year and beyond.
Hi, thanks for having me. The new year really serves as an opportunity to really renew and refocus, making our mental health and our physical fitness our #1 priority. And let's face it, we're all feeling the effects of the holiday season, whether it be through low energy or fatigue. But exercise can help you with both. When you move your body, you release endorphins from your brain that boost your mood and energy levels naturally, while at the same time reducing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. And at Planet Fitness, we want to remind you that fitness is a part of your overall well-being, and we want you to break down any barriers that you may have to fitness by coming into a judgment-free zone and getting all of those feels after a great workout. And music can actually help you as well, because music helps you to boost your energy and mood by rhythms, lyrics, cadence, and all of those things that power you through. And because of that, we are super excited to announce our partnership with 3-time Grammy Award-winning artist, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and fitness enthusiast herself, Megan Thee Stallion. And she's going to help us marry music and fitness in a fun and unique kind of a way. And we want everybody to join in on that fun, because we've created cool AR filters, charitable co-branded items, and we've got full-length workouts in our app inspired by Megan herself. All you got to do is go to motherishere.com. And oh, by the way, when you come into a Planet Fitness, I want you to remember the golden rule when you start your journey in 2024. Before any great workout, you got to start with a great dynamic warm-up to get your blood flowing to the muscles to offset possible injury. Then I want you to combine your strength and cardio into the most robust fitness experience possible and have fun. And lastly, and please don't forget this one, you got to stretch after every workout to help alleviate some of that soreness. And if you want to come into 2024 and really power things through in the right way, do so right now until January the 12th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month with absolutely no commitment. Remember, this year is your opportunity to shine the brightest on your stage and defeat low energy together. And for more information, go to planetfitness.com.
All righty, we are in a brand new segment here on the show, and this is what we love about it because we find out what you in America are actually talking about. It's called Let's Get Flashed, okay? Woo! And basically, not that way though, Matt.
Sorry.
But it is a way for people to kind of get out their inner feelings.
Right.
Just keep their clothes on when they do it.
Yeah.
All right, here's what it is. We're going to give you a sitch, and then we'll just talk about it, and basically, we would love to hear back from you as well. Here's the sitch. A woman wants to know if she should get flashed or not for moving from a spot someone wanted to propose on. Here's the story. A woman goes hiking so she can have a picnic in the beautiful spot in the mountains. She gets there, sets up the picnic, and starts eating when a man asks her to move so that he can propose to his girl that's in the exact same spot. He tells him, well, listen, you can wait. They start arguing. Is she wrong? Get flashed.
This is like the airplane seat controversy. Like when a family says, hey, can you move so my loved one can sit next to me? I think she should move. If the guy's proposing, I mean, I would think I would
be
like
a part
to move.
of it. You're a part of that person's memory, right, Maddie?
Well, you'd be part of that, but it would also depend on how much setup she had. Like, did she have a whole basket, a chair?
Good point.
She got there first. So it depended on the setup. Really.
Right when you said that, I thought about the airplane seat thing. We would love to know what you think. Drop us a message at flash@dailyflashshow.com. We got more trending news and entertainment coming up right after this. All right, welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see what some of our favorite music stars are up to so that we don't want to miss a beat. Get it started, AJ.
Okay, here we go. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are speaking out after news broke the two are ending their marriage. Now, in a joint statement posted to both of their social media accounts, the two stars said they are parting on the friendliest of terms after 4 wonderful years of marriage and have mutually decided to end it. The Jonas Brothers member filed for divorce in Florida's Miami-Dade County and stated in court documents the marriage between the parties is broken. The former couple met in 2016, married during 2 ceremonies in 2019. The first was a surprise Las Vegas wedding in May after attending the Billboard Music Awards where the Jonas Brothers had just performed. Then they threw a lavish wedding at the end of June in southern France. Mitch.
You got to be careful when you get off that energy off the stage, not to take it too far. Sounds like that's what he did. We go now to Ozzy Osbourne. He recently turned a corner with his recovery from surgery following an injury stemming from a 2019 fall. In July, Ozzy had to make a tough decision to withdraw from the upcoming Power Trip Festival, which could have seen him co-headlining alongside with Metallica, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and others, saying his body is telling him, he's just not ready yet. That's my Ozzy Osbourne. His wife and his manager, Sharon Osbourne, says that the family is waiting for the all clear from Ozzy's doctor so they can make a move back to England. That's a decision they made over a year ago. Ozzy was in the middle of his No More Tours 2 trek, his final world tour, 2018, when a staph infection forced him off the road. Shortly in 2019, as he was planning to return back to the road, he fell in the middle of the night, aggravated a spinal injury. He had nearly a quad bike accident back in 2003. We wish Ozzy a speedy and recovery. Very good health recovery.
Yes, absolutely. And the Rolling Stones announced their new album, Hackney Diamonds, and have premiered the video for the first single, The Hard Rockin' Angry. It's the band's first full album of original music since 2005's A Bigger Bang, and their first since the death of drummer Charlie Watts. Jagger explained the title Hackney Diamonds is slang for what happens to windshields when someone gets rowdy on a night out. The band also unveiled the track list for the album, which contains 12 songs, though Jagger said they'd recorded 23 for it. It was also revealed Lady Gaga sings on one of the songs.
Oh, cool.
The band ended up cutting the album all over the world. I thought they were done. I thought they were retired.
No way, dude. They got to keep going with those steel wheels. But we are all done for today, at least. We'll be back tomorrow for a brand new reunion tour as well. We want to thank all of y'all for joining us.
Be good, everybody.
We'll see you when we look at you. It's our crew that helps us put us all together.